What's going on YouTube, and welcome back to another episode of Then We Eat. We had a request for a special video, so today we're going to honor that request. On this week's episode, we're going to be making English bangers. Bangers and mash is a very popular British dish, so today I thought I'd try my luck at making those bangers. So to start with, we're going to make our spice mix. First thing we're going to do, 1 tablespoon of salt into a bowl. To that, we're going to add 2 cups of breadcrumbs, 2 tablespoons of white pepper to go with the 2 tablespoons of salt. I think I said 1 tablespoon. It is supposed to be 2. Tablespoon of sage, 2 teaspoons of ground ginger, tablespoon of onion powder, 2 teaspoons of thyme, 3/4 of a teaspoon of nutmeg, and I need 1.5 teaspoons of mace. I cannot find mace here, so I've made a bit of a mace kind of substitute. They say you can use nutmeg and you can use allspice. So I've got 3/4 of a teaspoon of nutmeg here and 3/4 of a teaspoon of allspice. We'll add that instead of our mace. If you can get mace, I'd recommend using that instead. Just give that a mix together, get all these ingredients well incorporated. Once that's finished, we're gonna set that aside and we can start on our meat mixture. So, we've got pork butt here. 6 pounds of pork butt and 1.5 pounds of fat. This just came out of the refrigerator. You want to keep it as cold as possible for as long as possible. To that, we're going to add our spice mix. We want to add this now, or at least I do, because I find it mixes better when it grinds. If you want to grind it up first and then mix it together, that'll work as well. I just find you get a little better mixture if you do it this way. So we'll coat all of our pork as best we can. So once you got that mixed well together, you can just leave it. Now I should point out that all I've really done, because it's being ground, you don't need to cut it up any specific way. All you're looking to do is make it in chunks that are going to be small enough to fit in your meat grinder. And remember when I said that meat needs to be super cold? I've got a trick I'm going to try here today. I've got 4 cups of crushed ice. I'm going to add this. This is going to add some water, which is going to make casing it easier, but it's also going to keep the meat nice and cold while we're grinding it, which is what you want. You don't want that fat to melt. So let's add the 4 cups of ice. This is crushed ice because, or attempt at it, because it's not going to grind very well if it's full chunks. Kind of mix that together a little bit. And then I'm going to stick this meat back into the refrigerator for a couple of minutes just to keep it cold while I get my meat grinder ready. We've got the meat grinder set up. Now it's time to start grinding our meat. Once you've got that all ground, just a little trick at the end. Just take a slice of bread and run the bread through the machine, and it should drag out any last bits of the meat that were left in your grinder. Yeah, as you can see, there's an awful lot of meat still coming out. So there we go. That's all the meat ground up. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take this meat, I'm going to stick it back into the refrigerator, let it cool down. Like I say, you want this meat as cold as possible for as long as possible. So we'll go back in the fridge, we'll do a quick cleanup, then we'll come back, we'll switch the grinder from the bigger one to the smaller, more fine meat grinding setting, and then we'll grind it again. So for you, it's been a very short amount of time. For me, it's been quite a while. So in the time since we last saw you, I ground the meat a second time. Didn't think you needed to see that. I've also gone ahead. I've prepared my casing. If you want to see how we do that, there's a short over my shoulder and a link in the description. We've also cooked a patty just to give it a test. Make sure we've got those flavors right. I highly recommend you do that. If you're not quite happy with the flavors, you can adjust the flavors in the pot, mix the meat back together, and get those flavors just the way you want them. I'm happy with the flavor of mine now, so now it's time to start casing up that sausage. So like I say, I've gone ahead, I've prepared my casing, I've put it on the nozzle, it's ready to go. Now we'll add our meat to our casing machine, I guess you could call it. It's actually an apple press. We use it as a casing machine. So now that we've got our meat in there, let's get our machine ready to go here. We're going to bring it down some We want to try to squeeze out as much of the air as we can, and then we'll tie up our casing here. So just keep going until you can start to see it coming. You can see the water coming, so it's not going to be very long now. There it comes. So just back it off a little bit. Find the edge of your casing here, which sometimes is easier than others. I have a little more than I need anyway, so I'll just cut that off and we'll use that as our end. Just snip it back here, give ourselves a little extra. We'll wrap it around our finger and tie it up. Get a nice knot on there. Now we're going to call in Steve, who's going to help us. He's going to do the cranking while I do the feeding of the sausage. So there we go. There's a pile of sausage. We had a couple spots where the casing didn't really come off evenly, so there's like a gap here. Just cut it off, tie them up, make a couple of different lengths of sausage. No big deal. Just cut her roughly in half. Then the same way you tied your casing to begin with, you're just going to tie it again. Take it, wrap it around your finger, and then pull it through the hole. Then you'll do the same thing on the end. Just pull your casing back, cut it off, and then tie it up. Now it's time to start wrapping them. So you're looking for a sausage, I don't know, I'd say you want to try to make them consistent. So some of them didn't come out. As you can see, our link isn't necessarily the same thickness the whole way along. So you'll want to kind of adjust for that. You want to make them like a good dinner size sausage. So maybe somewhere around there. That one might be a tiny bit big just because of how thick it is, but we'll go with somewhere around that size. All you're going to do is you just kind of grab it, give it a twist. It won't twist exactly where you want it to, so you'll kind of have to let it make the determination, because if you force it, it will break. But you'll just kind of try to keep it as close as you can to what you're aiming for. So there we have it. We ended up with 24, well, 25, but I call that more or less one sausage. We ended up with 25, 24 sausages, plus a whole bunch of loose meat in our casing machine. It's not the easiest to get out from the very bottom. So what we do once we get to the bottom, we just bag it as loose meat. And then if we were doing spaghetti sauce or anything where you needed loose sausage meat, you could just pull that out and use it for that. So we'll vacuum seal that up separately. We'll freeze these and then vacuum seal them, except for the 3 we need for dinner tonight. So we'll see you when it's time to cook up those sausage. A couple hours later, it's now dinner time. Let's get cooking. So English bangers are actually cooked 2 different ways. They're started off by being poached in a salt water for a few minutes. Once they're most of the way cooked, then they're finished off in a frying pan or on the grill just to give them a nice char or sear. So that's what we're going to do here today. So I've got the water on, just letting it come up to temperature. Then we're going to poach these up. So once these have come up to temperature, we're going to slide them into our pan. As I say, we'll let them poach for a couple minutes, and then we'll fry them up. So after about 5 minutes or so, we're going to flip these over carefully. Then we'll let them poach for another 5 minutes or so. After another 5 minutes or so, we're going to remove this from the heat. We're going to drain the water. We're going to return it to the heat, and we're going to sear them up. So let them fry up for about 2 minutes aside. As I say, you're looking to get a nice brown on each side. So after about 2 minutes on that side, we're going to flip them over once again very carefully. And we'll let them brown up on the other side for about 2 minutes or so. So after a couple minutes, pull those off the heat. We'll move them onto a plate and we'll be back to give it a try. And there we have it. English bangers. So let's give it a shot, see how they are. Oh yeah, the flavor in those is incredible. Nice spice mixture. Actually a very, very great spice mixture. The only thing I would say, you could probably get away with a few less breadcrumbs. Otherwise, these are absolutely fantastic. If you're looking to have an old-fashioned English dinner, these are a must-have. Cook up some potatoes, make them into mashed. You've got yourself a fantastic bangers and mash. So that's it for this video. Hit like if you liked the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, hit the notification bell to be notified when we upload next. We upload a new video every Friday afternoon. Share the video with all of your friends and comment down below. What did you think of this recipe? Or better yet, what would you like to see us cook next? Oh, and don't forget, first we cook, then we eat. So good.